Yo, what's up, guys? Finally back on stream. Transitions, yes, there we go. Everything looking good. I think should be sounding good as well. Yeah, it's been a long time, boys. Let me fix my hair a little. No, I think I'm gonna keep the cap on. Let's do it like this. Yeah, and I actually went also for the first time in a long time, went boxing again today. So just been a busy night. Yeah, it feels good. Feels good to be back on stream, to be back in the gym, you know, working on those social skills and on the fitness stuff at the same time. Let me check. Who is in the house? Well, of course, Modera and Tarkan. First ones to be here. Mason is back. Yo, what's going on, guys? Birch. Pinkowicz, of course. Mixwarp as well. Yeah, it's good to see you guys again. I also upgraded the stream. You might notice. It should be 4K quality right now. I learned this the hard way. I'll tell you about it in a second, because man, this one hurt really bad. But yeah, it's part of the announcement, really. So I'm gonna, yeah, I was checking it as well. Like I looked it up. It says 1440. But the output should be 4K, at least the recording output. Maybe it's just that YouTube doesn't allow 4K streams yet. But hey, at least everything looks a lot sharper now. At least it should be, because I know previously where I've done a breakdown on Ableton, and people were complaining that they couldn't see what was going on. That was probably because the stream was at 720p, so yeah, that was bad. But yeah, it's fixed now. Because I changed the settings. The settings I didn't even know I had to change, because I thought it was at full HD. But apparently the canvas was at full HD and not the output. So now I put the canvas on 4K because I actually have a 4K monitor. And I also put the output on 4K. But the connection speed might not be able to handle it. Yeah, so in the background I just played the new remix. I hope you guys like it. This is probably one of my favorite remixes I've had done in a long time, by the very talented Joop. And the other one who's playing right now is the very talented Light Below, and it's actually really nice because it got added to two really nice editorials. It doesn't show up here, but it's in Electronic Rising and in Beats the Thing 2, which are huge playlists. So this one is over 500,000. This one does quite well, but this one does even more. This is the type of playlist that people put on repeat, so that's great. Of course, still people viewing this one a lot. Yeah. It's actually really nice. You know what? I'm gonna start with one of the announcements. I'm choosing. Okay, let me ask you guys. Do you want something that's online, so for everyone, basically, or offline? Which news should I bring you first? Because I have like two big announcements to make. So you guys let me know. Offline or online? It's okay, I'll wait. Offline, alright, let's do that first. Okay, cool. So, yeah, the offline news. I'm very excited about this. It's concerning Amsterdam Dance Event. Last year we did the first ever SEKORA event, which was quite a challenge because of the pandemic and everything being closed a lot sooner, etc. But this year we're back, and it's going to be even bigger and even better because I'll be hosting the Andas Hotel. So what we're doing is we're hosting it for 5 days straight. So we got 5 events every day with full lineups from 12 in the afternoon till 10 at night, with drinks, mixers, and of course all you guys are invited. Let me tell you a little bit about Andas, what it is. Andas is, I believe it's a 5-star hotel. Let me show you. Oh, it's by Hyatt. I thought it was Marriott. Yeah, this is really fancy. It's also quite pricey, as you can see. But this is yeah, I haven't been streaming because I've been doing so much stuff. I was quite stressed lately, to be fair, because I just had too much stuff going on. And yeah, I'm very happy to announce this one. So this is the Andas Hotel, and yeah, it looks amazing. Just as soon as you step into the lobby at the bar, yes, this is the place at ADE, which is always crowded. So that's the lobby, which you can see right now, and we'll be turning that into some sort of club bar hosting thing. And the reason I'm doing this and not a club night, I wanted to actually think about, I was thinking about doing a club night at some club or whatever near Leidseplein, which is what a lot of people are doing. But then I was thinking, so the bar we did last year, it was nice. It's a nice bar, it's a nice venue, but I wasn't sure if it was the best place for SEKORA to host it again. The location was amazing, but yeah, I just wanted something else. I wanted like an upgrade, as in terms of like luxury, and this is probably one of the most luxurious hotels in Amsterdam. So yeah, very happy with this. Yeah, so I wanted to do a night event at first. We were looking at doing a Friday event, but the thing is, usually my preferred days are either Wednesday or Thursday, because that's when you're fresh, and as soon as you have your own party handled, you can just enjoy the other parties that are going on. So I was already thinking like Friday, is that the best day to do it? Then I actually went to London about a month ago, met up with Greg, also with Bound to Divide. We hung out a little bit, we had some beers. Well, we had quite a lot of beers. You know how it goes with the boys, which was really nice. And I also met up with the Enhanced Colorized team and with the Anjuna Deep team. So the Anjuna Beach, Anjuna Deep, whatever you want to call it. Went to the office. Was the first time I was there. It's really nice. Same goes with Colorized, by the way. Played ping pong with with some of the Colorized guys. I think I'm not gonna say who won, but definitely not me. But yeah, so that was nice. And yeah, then we just chatted a little bit about ADE as well and the things that we're doing there. And I noticed that so Anjuna Deep is doing their party on Thursday. Then Colorize is also doing their party on Thursday, and I think even Monster Cat Silk is doing their party on Thursday. So I already got 3 parties to tend to. Plus they're all in the same sort of space when it comes to the sound. Then there's also this huge festival, Digital, and Pleinvrees, which are also competing for all the same sort of, folks. So honestly, I thought, you know what, if I then also want to do a party on Thursday, all I'm doing is competing with everyone. So Blue Ocean Strategy, if you guys don't know what that is, Blue Ocean Strategy means you go for the things that are a lot easier to reach and isn't very saturated. So Red Ocean would be red because it's bloody, because everyone's competing for attention. and blue ocean is you just figure out a spot that not a lot of people are in, and you fill that gap. So I wanted to fill the gap of there not being anything from usually 4 in the afternoon until like 8 or 9 at night, because that's when, you know, people either go for dinner, or most of the time when I went to ADE around 4 or 5, everyone's like, okay, so now what? We have our meetings done. Is there anything going on? And there usually isn't. Either you have to find like a invite only, like a mixer or something like that. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. So I wanted to bring all my industry friends together, do like a industry professional mixer, where I invite like all these, you know, big DJs and bookers and labels, etc. So yeah, most of the guys also, I'm hoping, from Colorado and Juna are probably going to be here as well. At least I hope so. Which would be really nice. Same goes, you know, I'm trying to get the guys from Silk as well. So Jacob, he has his own event on Thursday, which I'm going to as well. But yeah, no, it would be nice if he came to say hi as well here. So yeah, but anyway, I was looking then for an event or for a location to host the mixer, and I wanted to have something like really fancy. And I was thinking, like, I always personally go to Andaz, and I like the Andaz Hotel the best out of all the locations during ADE, because it's easy accessible. It's like right in the center. It's nice behind the grachten. Everyone is having their meetings there, from like big labels to agencies, etc. So yeah, so I reached out to them and I talked about the SEKORA concept, and they were sold almost instantly about this. So they really liked the idea. But then at the end, they asked me like, hey, do you know anyone else that could host the other days? So then we discussed it, and I was like, you know what, I can do that for you guys. So I can, you know, host the entire week. So now we're hosting the entire week, and the way we're doing it is on Wednesday we have UOAK invites, which would be about me inviting my DJ and artist friends that aren't necessarily related to the SEKORA label. So I'm already talking to some guys that are gonna let me know this week. I have a couple confirmed. So the first ones would be Departure is confirmed. The Anden guys are confirmed. They release with Yotto a lot. Really, really cool guys. And then I have a whole bunch of other friends that I'm actually talking to this week. I don't want to jinx any of the names, so I only want to announce stuff when it's actually finalized. But yeah, I'm talking to some really, really cool names. Then on Thursday, we have the SEKORA event. The lineup is pretty much done. So I'm playing myself, of course. We have Light Below playing. We have Bound to Divide playing. The boy in the chat, he just joined. Bam, there he is. He's joining us, and he'll be playing there live. I think, Jules, that would probably be one of your first ever live sets, right? I mean, it's definitely going to be your first ADE live set, DJ set. So that's very, very exciting. Yeah, then Joop is also playing. We have Chechi, who I did Scent of Wood with. He's coming all the way from Italy. He's going to be playing as well. We have the Maui playing. We have probably Exit Coda playing. Andrew Benson, I believe, is coming to ADE, so we're going to try and get him a slot as well. Who else? I think the guys from Tomp, they also wanted to play, so I'm still checking in with them. Let me check, because I'm probably forgetting someone. We might have Prosh coming in from Norway, but we're not sure on that. Unfortunately, Alanda and Tommy aren't able to make it, so that's quite sad. Illumia isn't making it either, but we have Nicolcha. Let me check where Ivory. So let me play this tune here. Nicolcha's coming over. He's playing a set. Yeah. Who else? The rest I still need to chat to some of the other guys if they're available. Unfortunately, Nick won't be able to be there because he's half across the world, other side of the world. But yeah, if I missed anyone, I don't know. Any of the guys on the roster can still reach out and we can make something happen. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers the SEKORA event. Then on Friday, we're doing Songspire. So Songspire is is owned by Onno. Onno is a really good friend of mine, and I got him to host Friday. So he got Friday. Saw some really cool names on the list already that he sent me, but yeah, we still need to announce that. So to summarize, for those of you who are watching, we haven't sent out any invites yet because we're still working on the whole concept of branding. I'm finalizing that this week. We're getting everyone together to get that handled. But if you want to be at the event, if you're going to be at ADE and you want to join us, you want to come say hi, meet us for a drink, and you want an official invitation to the event, send me a message, send me your email on Discord, and I'll add you to the list. And also, if you want to bring a friend, that's cool. Just tell me a little bit about who they are, and also send their email address, because everyone gets a personal invitation. Yeah, and I'm just really excited for it. I think we got a couple of radio stations coming in who cover SEKORA radio. Just a very interesting bunch of people. I already talked to some of the people I work with. So that will be it will be great. I'm very excited for this. So yeah, that's the announcement. All the details and all that stuff you'll see soon enough. The thing is, the reason we're gonna add the event to most likely the ADE website. That's what I'm trying to do. But because the Andas is already so crowded, and it's very, how do you say it, high quality audience usually, because there's a lot of industry people there and it's already packed, it's already full. They don't want us to make it sort of public. So what we're doing is we're working with a guest list, with an RSVP list. Where we're trying to, I'm still trying to think of something to give extra to my guests and to the people we invite. But the reason being for this list is that, let's say the venue is full, because it is actually free walk-in. So if you just go to the venue and you can just walk in if it's not too busy. But if it actually is busy, then they're gonna have to prioritize the people who do have who do have an invitation. So anyway, only royalty, yes, especially when Bound to Divide is playing. You need to show your Spotify or Instagram followers you need to have a certain amount. Yeah, that was the ADE news. I'll get to the other news in a bit. I think it's a nice moment to actually bend the knee. Never. I think it's a good moment to check out some tunes. I already saw there was a lot of tracks that were submitted. I don't think I have time for all of them unless I go really fast. I mean, I could probably do one playthrough for most of them. Let's just see. Yeah, I'm sure. All right, so the first one is Birch. We're just gonna do a playthrough and then I'll just let you know what I think. All right, see you around, Jules. Thanks for joining. I like this. Yeah, Tarkan would be really cool to see you there. Anyone really. I mean, this is the perfect time for a meetup, really. Track volume is low. This is better. I don't want to overdo it with the volume, really. You still need to be able to hear my beautiful voice. Yeah, I like this. It's good. I also believe Birch sent in a really nice demo that I still have to get back to. I mean, like, oh man, I've been really been catching up with demos and such. It's too much. So everyone that sent in demos, please bear with me, guys. Doing our best. I like these plug sounds. Like, it makes me think, you know, like 2010 sort of Ibiza progressive house vibes. Makes me want to take a holiday to the sun. I really like it, especially as a background tune. I think that's also the purpose of this song. I'm not sure if it's like, if the melody is like, the hook is strong by itself, but it's just like a nice ambient tune in the background. Like if I were to hear this at some lounge bar at a beach club or something, I would love it. Only thing I would say, because everything sounds good, you know, I especially like, yeah, just the vibe. Drums are good. You could get some more variation, like a little bit on the drums or on that ARP, because that ARP just, it plays the same thing over and over, and it, like, there's no pauses in between, so the notes, they just keep playing right after each other, right? And like the only thing I would think of is maybe play around by taking away, like alternating with the notes, or like taking away a couple of notes sometimes, so it doesn't feel too busy, and then maybe use some reverb, you know, open up that reverb. Yeah, I think that would be the only feedback I'd have. And yeah, the only thing is, with when it comes to the melody and the hook, the melody right now, it's like, depending on what you want to go for, but it's not extremely memorable. Like I wouldn't be thinking like, oh, I heard that song, I need to know what it is. But if it's like an ambient track for in the background, then it's perfect. Then it's a job well done, really. So yeah, that's all I just listening to it, that's all I really got to go on right now. I can't really go into the details of the mix because everything just sounds, as a first playthrough, it sounds good. So I think it's more of making it more interesting type of feeling, really. Let me go to the next one. I hope it makes sense. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit. And I'm also not the best to judge a mixdown right now because one of my speakers is, well, let's say it's not 100% anymore. So I'm trying to trying to get an upgrade soon. All right, Growth in the Dark by our main man Pinkowich. By the way, I was thinking, you were from Denver, right? Because I forgot who was from Denver exactly. Yes. Okay. So, hold on. Let me ask you. There's just one. So this guy, who was also from Denver, actually messaged me a week ago or so. He works in a bar called Loaded, or a nightclub called Loaded in Denver, he says. And apparently they put on my Electronic Chill playlist there quite frequently. So if you hear some SEKORA tunes, that's probably why. I really like the pianos. Yeah, let me catch his name. So his name is Jorge, I think. So Jorge. And he says he works there with his girlfriend. Oh, his wife actually. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you should, man. Maybe you can play there or something. I don't know. That'd be cool. Really like the piano melodies. I feel like that sort of high-pitched string lead that's coming in. I'm not quite sure about it. I mean, it sounds okay, but I don't know. It just doesn't. Oh, what? Whoopsies. I don't know what's going on with that camera. That's interesting. Okay, yeah, the cam went off. I don't know what happened there. I think the software crashed. I've been having issues with my GoPro lately. I mean, this thing is super expensive. And it just keeps messing up. Yeah, I can probably do this. There we go. That should work. I don't know, this GoPro is like, it's driving me crazy, man. It's, I can even switch it if I want. Ooh. 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 Hello. Ooh. 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 Okay, it's back. Yeah, it's it's like a temporary solution, but you know, it's just it'll have to do. I mean, this thing is like, I cannot, like, I wouldn't recommend, I don't know, maybe mine's just faulty or something, but I would not recommend the GoPro Hero 10. Actually, I'm gonna turn off the front display, so maybe it'll help. I'm still listening to the song, by the way. Nope, still not working. Okay, well, we'll just have to keep it like this. Yeah, those vocals are nice. Where did you get it from? Is that Spitfire? Yeah, this GoPro has been overheating a lot. It's really bad. Ooh, Epic Choir. Yeah. Yeah, I really like it. I don't really have too much to say about it. I mean, it definitely sounds a lot better than your previous. So like I'm really seeing that learning curve. So like the mixes sound tighter. Your sound selection is a lot better. The only thing is that this string here, this lead, I'm not completely sold on that. But that's an easy fix, you know. It's nothing major. As long as like the pianos are really nice. Yeah, the thing is, yeah, I think the pattern, the lead itself, it sounds a bit basic, and like, I don't mean it in a bad way, but it's just like it doesn't really grab your attention, and then combined with the sound, it doesn't. For me, it just doesn't do anything. Whereas the piano actually does. Or it could also be something really nice, having some sort of arpeggiated sound in the background, and you don't have to play it all the way through the song. But this section here, for example, where you're building towards the end of that climax or that drop, you could add like a little arp or something, like just in the background, like very subtle, to fill it out, and then you hear it, but you don't. It doesn't take away the attention. I think the focus should really be on the piano. Let me catch up on a little bit of the chat because I missed a couple of really good messages here. Piano lessons, yeah. That's also something I want to do. I've been trying to learn the piano by myself. I just don't have the discipline. And I know as soon as I pay someone to sort of hold me accountable to do stuff, then I actually do it. So that's also something that I'm gonna talk about it after this track, because now I just want to, like, there's so much stuff that's been happening. Oh man, when you hear this, you're gonna feel my pain when you hear this one. So yeah, piano lessons, okay, cool. The quality keeps up in the stream. Yeah, so thanks a lot for that, Jonathan. Yeah, the stream used to have lower quality, but yeah, now it's a lot better because I have like a 4K canvas, and supposedly it's streaming at 4K, but I don't see YouTube being able to render it at 4K. So maybe a later point then renders it at 4K. I don't know. Thank you. Are you guys coming to ADE, by the way? It would be really cool to meet you. Basically anyone that's coming to ADE, like put like a little hands up emoji or something in the in the chat, so I know who's going to be there. And again, for those who didn't catch it, if you're watching or you're listening, send me a message on Discord if you want to be at the SEKORA and the UOAK event, and then I can add you to the guest list. So you can we're probably working on some welcome gift or some drink or I don't know, something. Yeah. Whole SEKORA team is going to be there. Whole bunch of artists are going to be there. Yo, what's up, man? Matt's in the house. Okay, so before I continue, let me just give my feedback on this track. I feel in some parts it feels a bit stagnant. So I think if you give it a couple days rest, this is my go-to advice with almost every track or every producer. Give it a couple days rest and then fully play it back from beginning to end. Or what another good idea is to have one of your friends listen to it from the beginning to the end, you know, and then watch their reactions. So if someone's like dozing off and someone's just looking away, like waiting for it to be over, then you know something is not right. But if your friends are listening to it in full attention, they're like, "Ooh, that's interesting." Ooh, you know, like they really want to listen to what's coming up. That's a really good sign. And with this track, I like it. I feel like your production skills have improved a lot since last time. And I think the last time I did a stream was like a month and a half ago, maybe even longer. Sorry for that. Yeah, and like the pianos are really nice. There's really good melodies in there. Like the lead, I would maybe try something else. But other than that, like the kick sounds pretty good, like a sort of organic house kick. So I like that. The drums, I would try to do some variation on the drums here and there, because they do get quite static over time. And I think overall that's probably my feedback for this track. There's nothing I don't want to be nitpicking on this, because most of the things, I think if you listen to it after a couple days, like fully listen from start to finish, you'll probably hear it too. So yeah, let me turn off some music in the background. And catch up on the chat. Yeah, GoPros. Okay. Yeah, that's part of the story I'm gonna be telling you in a second. Oh man, this story, dude. If like the way I'm speaking right now could be like a clickbait YouTube video title and post, it would have like something super cringe. Because the way I'm selling it right now is like the suspense. I'm building the suspense. Let's check. Wait, so you do online lessons then, guys, Modera? Or is that are you guys actually teaching someone in here, or is that just a joke that completely flew over my head, just like completely missed me? All right, the language, I have no idea what you guys are saying. I wanted to reply to something I saw earlier. Oh yeah, so someone asked, I'm not sure who asked it, if I hear a track in the stream that I think would be a sign for SEKORA, what I then do is, well, first of all, I don't sign tracks from the stream. And the reason I'm doing this is, well, I mean, like, unless it's like amazingly good, but then I would still ask. So like with the songs I feel like are very close to, or you know, good enough to be signed with SEKORA, I would then ask to send it in as an official demo. The reason being is that I checked the tracks here, but it's actually Greg who's the A&R. So Greg checks everything first, and I'm very curious to what he thinks of a song before I decide. So he's like the first filter and I'm the second. Like he sends me everything that's been filtered. If the tracks are, he checks if the mixdowns are correct, if the arrangements make sense, if there's some sort of hook to a track that might catch my interest. Because you'll be surprised, a lot of tracks that we get in that you like very early ideas, or the mixdowns just isn't right yet, or there needs to be something needs to be like fixed or updated or upgraded. That's actually quite easy feedback, and I just have limited time to check all these tracks that are coming in. So he checks everything first, and then just if the quality isn't good or people are just inexperienced or something like that, then he declines it. But if he thinks, okay, it has potential, then he sends it to me, and he sends it like a nice overview of all the tracks. So it usually takes me a couple hours just to go through everything and then send feedback for everyone. So that's why I always say, like, I don't mind sometimes, like, checking tracks and giving feedback, because I'm here to help. But yeah, time is just so limited, and there's a lot of artists releasing on the label, especially now since it's been growing so fast, that I just don't have time to check everything, especially the ones that aren't finished yet. That's why I always say, people that do actually send me tracks and they're asking like, hey, what do you think of this? Like, finish it as much as possible. Don't send me like some unfinished tracks. Sometimes, like, if you want me to quickly listen and give you like a thumbs up or thumbs down, that's fine, right? But I always say, if you want to get like really detailed feedback, make a track like as completed as you can, like to your best capabilities, because that's when you can actually get quality feedback. But yeah, coming back to the question that you asked, if there is a track in here that I really like, I think some of them, there might have been couple tracks that we actually, I don't know, but I think what I'm doing with these sessions, because I could honestly just tell everyone to, hey, send me your demos or send me your tracks over email, and then I check them. The reason is I want to give live feedback, so you can also watch my reaction to the tracks. And if you see my eyes light up and be like, whoa, then you have a good track. And some cases tracks are just more background type of tracks, or they need something to light it up a little, to give a bit more spark to it, or I'm just talking over it and I just hear it in the background. If I don't notice anything that's bad, that's also a good sign. So yeah, I like, to be fair, I would always take any kind of feedback with a grain of salt. I mean, sometimes with tracks, so for example, my track Motorcycle, I think one of the first people I sent it to was Nick. So Nick Alvizos. Yeah, I'm mentioning him in full name because I know he watches the streams too. And if you are watching, shout out to you, Nick. I love you, man. You know that. But yeah, he was like the first one. I was super excited to finally finish this track that's been sitting on my shelf for like 2 years. I'm like, oh, it's done. I'm done. I sent it to Nick, and he's like, yeah, nah, I'm not feeling it, with an Australian accent. I'm like, no, Nick, what are you doing to me, man? Why? But then everyone else is like, yeah, I love it. But that's what I love about him. He's always honest, and if he doesn't feel a track, he's honest about it, and that's fair. You don't have to like everything someone sends you. So yeah, I want honest feedback. But what I also do is I have this circle of friends that I just send in. Like, if I have a track finished, I just send it around and I listen to what they have to say. And if they all hate the track, they're all like, yeah, it's like garbage, it's whatever. Then I send it to a bunch of non-producer people and ask what their opinion is, and they're like, oh, I love it. And I'm like, okay, that's a good track. Now it'll do well on streams. But with the producer guys or girls around me, and also with you guys, you send it to some close friends that know what they're talking about. And if they all tell you like, yeah, your kick sounds distorted, then your kick probably sounds distorted. That doesn't mean that you have to change your kick, but it gives an indication of whether one person is right or not. So if I hear a certain feedback only one time, then they probably aren't right. It's just an opinion. But if I hear like from 2 or 3 people, I hear the same feedback, like the drums are boring, the lead is, I don't know, needs an upgrade, the vocal is too dry, stuff like that. If I hear it from 2 or 3 people that I know where I know that they know what they're talking about and I respect, then they're probably right. So, but yeah, either way, any type of feedback, also the feedback you guys get from me, don't think that, oh, because I am having the stream or I have a bunch of tracks out or I have a record label, that I know anything. Really, I always tell myself, you know a lot, but you don't know anything, really, because you're learning every day. So that's also what I want you to understand with this feedback in here, is all the stuff I say, just take it with a grain of salt. If it helps you, that's great. If it doesn't help you or you don't agree, just take it what it is. It's free advice. So but I think most of you guys understand. Yeah, well, that's actually yeah, you're right, Matt. That is actually a thing. I never really thought about it that way, but there's this idea of having people in a room when you're making music. I think it was I heard in like an interview with Pharrell Williams, where he talked about that the people behind the desk or the people on the couch are probably just as important as the people behind the desk. Or it was Kashmir, I think he gave this story about like a G6. Like he thought it wasn't that great. He thought it was like a lame track or something like that. It was, I'm not, don't quote me on this. I don't know what he said exactly, but he wasn't really sold on the track. And he was with a bunch of people in the studio, and they were like really like, banging their heads to it. They were like, ooh, it's good. And that's what I also try to, like I make music most of the time by myself. But when I do make it with other people, I tend to sort of have them make better music, because you can only have one person behind a computer, really. So I've talked about this before with collaborations, that some collaborations you have someone sitting behind the producer, so to speak, but yeah, their input. So let's say I visit a friend in the studio, and it's his gear, his equipment, and his DAW, and like I have no idea how everything works. All I can do is play melodies or pick sounds or anything. Like if he were to sit there by himself, then it would have a completely different outcome than when I'm there with him or her. It just gives you a completely different outcome. And most of the time, it makes the tracks better, because I might not be the best producer, I might not be the best songwriter, and I'm definitely not the best keyboard player. I really suck at playing piano and keyboard. But I know exactly what needs to be put in where to make a track even better. And I think that's also when I look at, I think like a really good example would be the motorcycle remix that UOAK made. So the first version he sent to me, it had some cool ideas, but it's completely different from what it is now, like 100% different. I might as well could have called it the UOAK and UOAK remix, because basically everything that's in this song is just like almost all of it is my feedback. But he did a really good job on the first version. But I just I felt it needed to go a different direction. So I told him like this, I think 20-minute long voice memo, and I told him like all the feedback. I told him like, sit down, get a piece of pen and paper, and write all this stuff down, because I'm gonna like completely reorganize your track. And he took all the feedback in, so that's why he's also won the why I think he's such a great artist to work with. Not only is he very talented with his ideas, but also with accepting feedback and really listening into like feedback. So he took all those things and then made exactly the version that you can hear here. I think the only thing that needed to be fixed at the end was the kick, I think. So yeah, so I think that's also worth something. And yeah, just having the right people in the studio, I think that's very important. And yeah, coming back to the whole like getting a group of people around you, what I like to do is like I'd like to have the producer guys and girls, you know, the group you send it to when you're working on the production side. And then I have in Dutch we call it leek. A leek is someone that has no idea about a certain field. They're just like, I'm just oblivious, but I have an opinion. And I also have those type of friends or people around me. And usually the one is my mom. So if I have a new idea and I feel like, okay, this is actually a song, I just play it to her and then I see how she reacts. And if she's like, oh, this is nice and the melody is catchy and there's a nice little vocal in there and blah, blah, then I know like, this is probably going to do well on streaming. But if she's like, yeah, I don't know, it's too hard, it's too loud for me, blah, blah, then I know all the producer boys are going to like it. So, yeah. Just the best advice you're going to get. So, yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, exactly. So the common person just listens to how it makes them feel. And that in the end is also like we all like to think that, you know, we got this super slick techniques and I got this plugin and let me put in like a little compressor on the like sort of hi-hat in the background and how much did you compress your drums and all that type of stuff. And yeah, we like to nerd on about it and we can go on for hours or for days about this type of stuff. But most people that are just listening, they don't really notice. Like I've heard tracks that had like a really bad mix and just bad, you know, and they do really well. Honestly, when I'm gonna be very honest, like my most successful track till this day is probably the Silent Games remix. And honestly, when I listen to it on my studio speakers now, because I'm not sure if I had these speakers when I made it. When I listen to it now, I'm like, I probably should have done something with that bass line and made it a little bit better. But you know, and that's, yeah, it just shows like it's not the best produced track or the best mixed track, but it sounds nice, and that's eventually what counts, you know. So yeah. Yeah, that's true. You're right about that, Matt. So yeah, tracks, they sound very different in live settings, so that's why I do recommend, like, if you can get your tracks played out and like on a large system, that would be perfect. If your friend or whatever can play it at a club, just to listen to what it sounds like on a big on a big system, that's ideal. And if you don't have that luxury, what you can do is go to a club or a festival and then check out the tracks that sound really nice on a certain system or at a certain party, and just write those down. Just Shazam those tracks. I did it as well last year with a couple festivals, and this year just took a couple tracks. I was like, whoa, damn, this one rips, you know, like sounds really good on a live setting, live system. And then when I listen back in the studio, I'm like, it's not that special, but there must be something in there that makes it work so well. So yeah, you guys, you that haven't been going to festivals or clubs or whatever, I definitely recommend doing that. It actually makes you a better producer, understanding that if you do eventually want to make music for clubs, etc., which we kind of are doing with dance music. Yeah. Let me actually, before I go into the other story, let me just play a couple tunes, because I've been going off the rails again. I guess you guys missed that as well, me just rambling on the mic for hours. Let's play some Mix Warp, yo. vibes with the vocal. Yeah, the Vox is really nicely mixed in, for sure. Let it play and then give you my thoughts after. About to say something similar. I feel like so I really like this, by the way. You're another example of someone who's progressed a lot since my absence. But yeah, it's a really nice track. I like it a lot, and it's your mix sounds a lot better. And like the only thing I notice with these chords is they might be a bit loud, or they're there's too many highs and lows in there. So I'm not sure if you've low cut this to, I would low cut these type of chords to about 160, 170 hertz. So you still have a little bit of that body that you want in the low mids, but then everything below that will be taken care of by your bass line, because I'm assuming you have a sort of saw bass line as well. There's very similar type of sound to the pads you have, and this way you can have your bass line like in the lows and keep that a bit more mono, so that can stay in the center, and then you can make your chords a bit wider. And this is also something that Matt mentioned in the chat. What I think is that at some points, because these chords are so, how do you say, unfiltered, so I think if you filter it down a little bit, then you actually give more space for your lead and your ARP. That ARP, for example, could also be a bit more to the sides, and the lead might be a bit bigger, maybe have some reverb, so it's more in the back. So you have your chords are like, you know, very, they carry the track really. Lower the volume a little bit, and then they're still going to be as present as they are now, but they'll be a bit less in your face. Because what this sort of reminds me of is that you used to have, like 10 years ago, you used to have this progressive house and sort of trance movement that had these like really like big flashy chords that are like super in your face. And I know you're not, at least I think you're not aiming for that type of sound, but these chords are pretty much in your face. They're like, you know, like, ooh, put your fucking hands up, you know. So yeah, I would tone them down a little so they're a bit more mellow. So you get that sort of Ben Böhmer, Niels Hoffman type of chords. They're like mellow chords, and then sometimes towards the end of like a section, you could unfilter it and you can open up the filter, so it gives like a nice little, you know, nice little nod at the end. Because right now your chords are very static throughout. I don't feel there's a lot of filter automation going on, and the same goes with your lead. So that's something that I noticed in the breakdown. This ARP, for example, could be perfect to have something like some automation going on, like adding some reverb, or maybe you can get like a super sick, I don't know if you have the RC20, for example. What I would like to do a lot of times with an ARP like this, I would make like or either select or make a super sick preset. So add like a little bit of a bit crusher, add a lot of reverb, and make it do it really over the top, so it sounds like a little bit distorted, and like, you know, like you have your own crazy preset, and then just put it all dry, and then towards, you know, the breakdown, you just open up the dry wet. So it gradually adds like reverb and a little bit of distortion and does some sort of wobbly automation stuff. I would say, like, don't overdo it. Of course, the most prevalent would be either delays or reverb, but having something like that in here would make it would really build on that epicness of that ARP to really be like, okay, tension is building, what's coming in, you know. So yeah, that's my feedback, I guess. And I think also when you listen back, you'll probably notice it, that some of these sections, they feel a bit repetitive. And I usually think that once one or two sections are over, you need some sort of automation or some sort of little riff that sort of, I don't know, some majestical riff, like a fairy coming with their wand and they're like trilling, have something going on, you know, in the end, like some sort of background FX riff. Apologies for my terrible interpretation of a fairy with her wand, but you get the idea, right? And I think like Nora En Pure and Sons of Maria, and like they have this like super how do you say, prevalent, I think is the right word. Like when you listen to these songs and you start to listen to the effects, like it's almost every couple bars there's some sort of riff or effects in the background to sort of say like, okay, new section is coming now. And what this does is that it doesn't make your track as repetitive or boring, because it takes away the attention for a little bit. I think using something like that in here could also really improve the track. So yeah, I think I've mention most of what I wanted to talk about. But anyway, like the track is, yeah, the quality of the track is like a lot better than what you had before. So a lot of the elements, the sound selection, everything sounds really good. So you're definitely on the right path. I think what it now would be, like the next step is to compare your arrangement a little bit to the professional tracks, and also analyze and zone in on where certain sounds are placed. Are they in the center like a bass line, or are they a bit more wide like chords or leads, or are they 3D, are they like far away, are they close up, which you can do with the reverb. So wide, like the width can be achieved with like delays and chorus, and the depth can be done with reverbs. So that's also something to think about, I think, now, and give every element its space to sort of shine, so they don't clash with each other, because that's what's happening in some sections of the song, is that they're clashing. So I think that's the next step. Yeah, and then the ear candy and like the background effects to like really fill out the track, and some automations to take it to the next level. And then with everything, all the elements are in here, I think you can have a really nice tune. So good job on that. Let's go into the next one. We have, okay, Robert Mason, Nami Splash, Modera, and Matt. So we're gonna finish up with Matt. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 tracks. All right, cool. Can we do 6 tracks in 45 minutes? It depends on how long I'm gonna talk, I think. Yeah, it's good. I like this. Eggplant and garlic. I like these little sound effects in the back. I think that's something you can even like take to the next level, really. So there's this like sort of shaker thing that goes left, right. That's something that you can make even bigger, really, because I think that's cool. It adds to the sort of ambience and vibe of the track. So you imagine like you're standing in this like big warehouse, like super dark, and like there's lights, and you're like, you know. I think that's also the idea you went for. Like, make it bigger. Why not? It's a breakdown anyway. It's almost like with these ideas almost starting to look like afterlife techno now. But it's getting close to that anyway. I think those percussions, I mean, like, I'm sort of 50-50, like, you know, messing around, but I think I'm getting these ideas. I'm like, I do imagine myself in this big warehouse with a whole bunch of sweaty people with sunglasses on, sipping their water, and then him like, dun, 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 and then get some percussions in there, like, you know, stuff like that. I think that would make this even better, yeah. Up the BPM a little bit. We're going for a techno party. We're at the rave. Yeah. Well, feel free. Feel free to sample these sick beats. Vocal rises and white noise flashes. Choo choo choo. Yeah. Yeah, I think I really like this. There's a lot of really good good sounds in there. Sound selection is good. This vocal makes sense. I just personally think you can take this to the next level, like especially with percussions. You can make like these, you know, these big impacts, like not cheesy stuff, but like just sort of almost like film scoring type of things. Like I'm really getting this sort of afterlife techno type of idea when I listen to these sounds. And so yeah, going a little bit like, you know, borrowing some of the things that they do in those tracks, I think can definitely help. Let me check. Yeah, it's actually Darko might be right here. When you think about it, if you up this tempo, you take away that clap, and then just put a lot of drive in it, then you have like the perfect melodic techno track, really. And like someone else mentioned, who was it? You can have, you know, you can have a more uplifting version and have a chilled out version. Also makes sense. But I think just like with the sounds that are being used, some of these shakers and, you know, hi-hats, I think it could be a really nice techno track. But okay, let's just judge it for what it is. Yeah. I think this bridge could be a bit more interesting as well, and then just build on that sort of epicness in the breakdown. I think that's my feedback for this. Everything else sounds great, so really good job also to you guys. I'm really curious to what this turns out to be in the end, which direction you're going to go with. Yeah, but like play around with the percussion stuff. I think it can actually make it like really cool. And I also feel like, I'm not sure, you guys probably like 120 BPM, 128, something like that. I feel like you can probably increase the BPM on this a little. It might even sound better when you do. But yeah, that's up to you guys. Ooh. Okay, so I think we had 5 more. Okay, so let's do this one, and then I'm gonna, you know, no, actually, I'm gonna pause it. Play some music. I want to talk about the online stuff. I haven't mentioned it before, so this also boils down to also the GoPro overheating. That was one of the things. Yeah, 120. I think you guys should. You can probably up it up to BPM a bit. I think it would do well. You're very welcome, and Brian, and I'll see you next time. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, the online stuff I want to talk about is drum rolls. The course I'm working on. So that's also one of the reasons that I was not as I say, like a little bit offline, because I just really wasn't feeling it, and everything just, there's a lot of stuff that came up in between, and time just flew. Like this summer went so fast, really. Yeah, I just really didn't have as much time to do streams and such. I just wasn't out. I was just somewhere else with my head, basically. And one of the things was the course. So I maybe I've mentioned it before that I'm working on a Spotify course, and I just finished it. I finished all the recordings. Everything looks good so far, and yeah, and one of the things that happened. So when I think about it, it still gives me sort of I don't even know how to explain. So there was two things that happened. Well, three things, and I still need to fix one of them. But I have a good feeling it'll be done. So the first thing what happened was I had a deadline. So I'm working on this course. I'm doing it with Production Music Live, and I felt like they were the perfect partners to do it with. They're really cool guys. They are. They're really busy also, so most of the stuff with the course I had to do myself, but that's fine because I just work like that anyway, so I'll let them do all the marketing and the selling and everything on that part. But yeah, the course itself, I felt like I talked to them about it, about what should be in it, and we exchanged some ideas. We also did earlier this year, we did like a seminar at the Berlin Dance Music event together. That's where I met them in person as well for the first time. So really, really cool guys. Respect a lot of respect for them, what they've achieved in. I think they grew exponentially over the last couple years, and I also use their samples and such. Anyway, enough selling PML. But yeah, I'm working on it with them, and the reason I didn't want to talk about it too much was because I don't want to jinx things. So unless something has actually been set in stone and is done and completed and finished, I don't want to talk about the stuff too much. But now that I have, like, the hard part is over, at least for me, is that I have created the curriculum, I've created the outline of the course, all the information, everything that I wanted to talk about concerning Spotify. So this is like a combination of everything I've learned over the years on how to promote music on Spotify, how to build a profile, how to build playlists, how to get your music into other people's playlists, even if you don't have a big playlist yourself. So how do you reach out to people like me, for example? How do you reach out to some of my friends? Like one of my closest friends, I could probably call him one of my best friends really, is Jan Hendrik, who is the owner of Suave. They have more than 4 million followers on Spotify. And we started around the same time. Actually, I encouraged him to start a record label, but he's probably not going to tell that to anyone. But I was there when we sort of started. So we started together, and yeah, he went the more commercial route, and he's done very well for himself. And yeah, I went more into melodic house because that's where my passion lies. But yeah, you know, to each their own. And he's become very successful on Spotify. So. But yeah, I know exactly on how to get into his playlist, what he's looking for, and to which people he actually spends his attention. And the same goes for me, and same goes for all my other friends that have really big playlists and record labels. So everything I've learned over the years, all the information that I taught the other people during seminars. So I've given seminars as well in Dance for Belgium, in Dance for the Netherlands, in Utrecht. And also did some videos online, like I have a couple of old Spotify videos that performed quite well. And I actually have like the one I talked about, Dance for Belgium, was in 2017. It was the first time I did a seminar on Spotify. Or was it the second? First or second? I don't know. But that was the time that we just released the Silent Games remix. And yeah, we were sort of still figuring out like how do we get streams on this, and like 100,000 or 200,000 streams was quite a lot back then, for us at least. So I was talking already back then, talking about how do you find active playlists and how do you approach these people, like how do you get in touch with them, how do you find them, and how do you get them to eventually add your song to their playlist, which is sort of the holy grail of Spotify. That's what I think everyone wants to know. And you'll be surprised, like even like big record labels, I'm not gonna call any names, but like the biggest in melodic house, you could probably guess who, they asked me the same question, like how do you approach these sort of unknown big playlisters, how do you get into their lists? So even the big artists that you think, oh, they're super successful, they don't have Spotify figured out at all. Most of them they don't. So most of them, they have a touring schedule and they all have like big budget that they spend a whole bunch of money to promote their songs, but most of them don't really have a clue on what they're doing with Spotify. They have so many opportunities everywhere. I'm not talking about this record label anymore, by the way, but just like I've worked with a lot of artists, with a lot of festivals, yeah, and they're all sort of struggling when it comes to Spotify, because most of the, like even the big labels, they don't have any promotional power on Spotify. They're sort of, they have their big artist, and then they use that these connections that they have with the editorial teams at Spotify to get their tracks playlisted and such. So most of the tracks most of the streams, they come from actual editorials, etc. But yeah, just independent playlisters, I think, myself included, there's only a handful of guys and girls that actually like really can make a big difference on Spotify for their record label and music. And but yeah, there's a system to it. So yeah, and this course I've recorded, I've laid everything out from beginning to end, so you have a track ready for release. I also give some tips on how to actually produce a track for Spotify, so not the mastering or mixing part, but how you were to write a song that does well on Spotify, what to look for. And also when you're cutting an extended mix for Spotify, that's also something important. So like all my tracks, for example, if you listen to their short versions, then you'll notice some similarities. That a lot of them, they start with something that is very catchy in the beginning. It's because I don't want, like, well, anyway, there's a whole bunch of reasons. You can find it in the course when it comes out. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on. And with everything you do, there's always some stuff that goes wrong. So the first thing what I did, this is also what I mentioned earlier about sort of accountability. So I perform best when I'm on a deadline, and when people are counting on me, when I have some sort of accountability towards others. That, because like people think I'm very disciplined. I'm not at all. I'll be real with you. I really need someone to be like, oh no, I need to send this to X person, and then I like start working, because like I've always been that guy that does everything last minute. Same goes with back in school. My homework assignments was always the night before. So yeah, so what I did was I actually got Damien Light Below involved, and he helped me record everything. So he was sitting behind the camera and doing all the takes. And for me, it's because I want to be social when I do something on video. In this case, I'm sitting all by myself, but I got you guys to talk to. So yeah, I wanted some social factor to it, but also accountability. So I actually paid him money to sit with me, and I'm like, I'm not gonna waste his money. I'm gonna optimize it as best as I can. Now that I have his time, I paid him for his availability for a couple days. But what happened was, we've recorded for 2 days. So the first day We went over the entire curriculum, about what we're going to record, how I'm going to say it, what am I going to talk about, and also to get an idea of what he is interested in learning from Spotify, because he has no idea either. So he told me as well, like he learned a lot from just sitting there and talking about what the course is going to be about, and then also watching me talking to the camera, of course, like recording everything. So, but then the second day we did all the recordings, like everything I needed to do in front of the camera. So there's 2 scenes. There's videos where I'm just talking in the camera, and there's videos like this, like I have a webcam and I have a screen in front of me with Spotify, etc. open. So we recorded everything, and then I watched it back. At the end of the day, it was like 8 or 9 at night. I was done. I was so relieved. I was like, oh, it's finished. We listened back. The video looks amazing, like super crisp, super clean. The audio was fucked. Yeah, I really can't blur this word out, but it was completely messed up. Man, you can't imagine how that must feel like when you create something, you put in so much work, and then it's just completely unusable. It wasn't even fixable. I tried to fix it with Isotope RX. I actually bought it just to try and fix the audio. Unable to fix it. It was completely messed up. Man, I wanted to smash something. I was sort of like angry and sad at the same time. It was, oh man, this hurt. So what we did was, I really need to settle down. And then the week after, I told him, like, look, I'm gonna need you for another day, because we're gonna have to record this again. So I had to re-record all the in front of the camera parts. Luckily, I knew exactly what to talk about, so it didn't take a lot of takes. There was some, how do you say, not everything was very fluent, because English isn't my native language. So I don't stutter or anything, but it does take for me, like, when I public speak, it's fine, or when I'm talking in front of the camera, it's also fine. But I don't have a full story. Like I can't like learn a story and then without failure tell it. So I need to like edit a little bit. Everything was great. Everything looks good. So we did everything again in one day, and in the end, when I think back, maybe the second time around the recordings were actually better. Like the information that was in there, it was more inclusive and covered everything I wanted to talk about. So in the end, I guess it had its reasons or purpose. And the second thing that happened, so Amara, what happened was I use like a lavalier mic, right? Like you put on your you can just clip it onto your shirt, and it has like a sender receiver. It's wireless, so the receiver, it was receiving it too hot, and I checked on the camera to check the input levels, and it seemed fine when I was speaking, but then when I was recording, it was too hot, so it was completely clipping, and there wasn't, the limiter on the camera was off, so everything was just completely distorted. It was just done. So it was unusable. Yeah, I guess in the end the first one was a practice one, but so a week after we did it again for at least one day. We recorded everything in one day. At least I had the curriculum done. I knew exactly what to talk about, so we got that handled. And I learned, I should have just used headphones to check the audio levels, or do like a test recording and check the levels and see if everything. Either way, it's fine. I also learned that the first time we recorded, the camera was set to auto white balance, so it sort of changes the white balance throughout the video. So, and you see this in the video. And then the second time around, I put it on a static, so everything was manually input, and it made the video look even better. So yeah, I guess you learn, you live and you learn. But that was the first part. Then the second part was screen recordings. And I thought, you know, screen recordings might not take too long. It took 2 full days of screen recording, because these videos are quite long actually, where I go into, you know, talking about Spotify, showing my profile and everything. Man, this one hurt too. So you remember at the beginning of the stream I was talking about the output of the stream not being high quality. It was only 720p. I thought it was full HD, or it was, when it was recording, I thought recording would be 4K, stream would be full HD. Apparently the settings were wrong. So the screen recordings were in 720p and they sucked. But I had like 2 hours of screen recordings, and everything I said on the screen recording, everything I wanted to talk about was great. It was on point. I didn't even want to redo the take because it had everything in it. So, and there was also the thing that I was actually talking about the editorial pitching of this track, Yo Motorcycle Remix. So, and when I figured out that the screen recordings were bad quality, the track was already out. So I couldn't redo the pitching, and I couldn't show anyone what the pitch was, because it was done. It was set in stone, because the track was already out. So now I have a bunch of screen recordings which are quite bad quality, and actually I can, let me check. Yeah, this was like again something like, yeah, it's obvious to check it beforehand, right? But I guess not. So and because I thought, when I looked at the test recording, oh, it looked fine, so I thought it was okay, high quality. But then I zoomed in and like really like started pixel peeping, and I saw like, oh no, it's bad. Anyway, I found a software that can actually increase the levels of how do you say, like, it makes it sharper. So I have a sample. Actually, let me play it. So here's a sample. This is what the original looks like. And this is like a section of where I go into talking about Spotify profiles that are like really good looking and are successful, and what they are doing. And yeah, as you can see, it's not very sharp. See? So I mean, it's watchable. You can still definitely see what's going on, but it's not 4K. So then I used software, and that got me to this. And here, if I just go to the middle section, you can see at least everything is sharp. So some of the pictures are a bit messed up. Some of the text looks a bit weird, but at least it's doable, it's watchable, right? Like, there's some artifacts you can definitely see, for example, with their faces, like a little bit. It's not the best looking, but if you go over it quickly, like I have, then it's not too bad. And right now, this is like a 4K screen I'm watching on. If you're watching on Full HD, you definitely don't see it. And yeah, the only thing is, like, for example, here, this picture, it looks a bit messed up, as you can see. It's definitely not what it used to look like. But yeah, I mean, that's yeah, that's like the only thing. And then yeah. So yeah, that's what I had to do. I mean, there's a couple of videos I can't re-record them. I don't even want to re-record them. So there's like, I think 6 videos that have this upscale resolution, and then the other ones are like actually like 4K screen resolution, so they look super tight. But yeah, like, honestly, I think most of it is about the Most of it is about what I'm saying anyway, and as long as you can sort of see what's going on, you can read the content. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, if you don't tell anyone, they probably won't notice. Maybe you'll get someone that's like, hey man, this looks blah blah blah. But I mean, it'll have to do. Yeah, and because like the first issue that I had with the recording, like the in front of the camera recording, that was a real issue, because this course is tailored to producers and musicians, yes. So the sound quality, that is the most important part. And now that I have re-recorded everything, the sound quality is really good, sounds great. Then, you know, if the video is like, if you watch it in full HD, it's fine, you don't even notice. You only notice it when you're watching magicians. It's made for magicians. Yeah, you're gonna be emailing PML. I want a refund because some videos aren't 4K quality. I noticed because he told this on stream. Yeah. So but yeah. Yeah, I think it'll have to do. Honestly, you only see it when you're watching like 4K on a 4K screen, like big screen. That's when you notice. Because I showed it to Maurice. He watched on his computer and he watched on his phone, and he didn't even see a difference. So yeah, I guess it'll have to do. I mean, I wish it was different, but yeah. So yeah, well, the thing is, like, I still need to get them to approve the quality of the screen recordings, because I told them about the issue that what happened, and they haven't honestly got back to about if it was okay with the upscale version, because I still need to upscale everything. With the sample video I showed you guys, it had a watermark in there, so I still need to buy the full software and then go through the process. I think it takes a couple days for it to fully render, and like it's very crazy intensive. But yeah, so yeah, I know, but yeah, well, I'll have to let the PML guys decide. So anyway, for when it comes out, I'm not sure. I still need to discuss it with them. So I'm editing all the videos now, like this week. So that I'll probably have to be doing that tomorrow. Editing all the videos. Yeah, that's first. And then I have to discuss with them when to release it. But I'm thinking like October, so maybe in a month it'll come out. I think I want to talk to the guys if they're going to be at ADE as well, and then do like maybe like a launch party at ADE. I think that would be cool. Might even be cool to have like a PML hosting session or PML get together or something like that. Yeah, I think that would be cool. I think ADE would be like the perfect. I think that would be the perfect opportunity, really. So yeah, and as for so I'm probably gonna, I have no idea how they usually launch courses, etc. But I'm probably gonna think like if we can do like a launch during ADE to make it like a special event or do something special with it, then yeah, there would probably be like a what do you say, like first adapter, like early bird discount or something like that, because I have no idea what they want to sell this for. I'm thinking probably like 97 euros or something. I think that's fair. Maybe 150, I don't know, because this is the first real business course on PML. So far everything has been production courses. There's one course that Jules made about how to make and sell a sample pack, but that's more about making the sample pack. So yeah, this will be like, it'll be a completely new chapter for PML as well. It's like a new thing that you're doing. And all the production courses, I believe, are like 60 euros or something like that, or maybe cheaper. But this is an actual like business course. And with business courses is because you actually will be making money off of all the strategies that are in this course. So I have no idea for what they want to ticket the course, like the selling price. But yeah, I can probably get you guys discounts. I mean, I won't be able to give them away for free. Maybe with a contest or something that we can get like one license. But yeah, that's all up to PML, because you know, they're the business minds behind it. But yeah, I have a good feeling about this. It's something that I've wanted to do for a very long time. Thought about it a lot, and the reason that I never really did it was I've done YouTube videos in the past about yeah, it's just like Spotify marketing videos, and it was nice like having a couple videos on the YouTube channel, but it takes a lot of work to like really build an audience and build a mailing list and build like a YouTube channel that's dedicated to like this business stuff. And because there's multiple channels that do sort of music business, and they dedicate their life almost to just the music business, and most of them aren't producers or make music themselves. So I felt like, do I want to become this, you know, online marketing guru type of person with a YouTube channel talking about how to sell your music, etc., or you know, just make music and lead by example? And that's the path I've chosen, to lead by example and focus on my label and my own music. But yeah, I still wanted to do this course, so it's perfect to have found PML that already has an audience. So at least I know if I make this course, there will be people that find it. It'll be mailed out to a lot of people, so I can at least change some lives, you know. And that for me is the real reason I wanted to do this course and also do these seminars, is I want to teach people and yeah, teach them about how I build a business out of Spotify, really. So like give all the tips and tricks I have for Spotify. And my philosophy always is that if you can change one person's life with whatever you're doing, it's already a success. So if I can change one person, whether that be you guys watching or whoever, then it's already a success. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting tired, man. Ooh. Yeah, catch the chat and then we finish up the last couple tracks. Yeah, I don't think all PML courses are 4K, but they wanted the content in 4K, so I'm giving them 4K, but then I messed up, so not so 4K anymore, but it's like artificial 4K. At least it looks decent, you know. If it looks good enough, then it probably is. Like, who would notice? Four-stroke engine design development by Eggplant. Production engine live. Yeah, cool. Okay. Let's dive into the last couple tracks. Yeah, got Mason James. Yeah, I'm glad to see that you guys are excited about it as well. I mean, I also, like, most of the time, like most of the stuff that is going to be in the course, or at least a lot of it, I also tell on the streams. You know, it's not really a secret, but I think what the main benefit, well, there's some tips and tricks on how to do stuff on Spotify I've never talked about anywhere. So there are some, but they're not really secrets. You know, you can probably find this information online somewhere or figure out by your own. like I have. But I think with this course, and that's also, talk to Jules about this, how he makes his course. It's just nice to have like someone to take you through the whole system, to take you from the beginning to the end, step by step. And I think that's where the value lies. So it's not per se the secrets or whatnot that you get in the course, but it's more that, you know, you're getting an expert to guide you through the process. And that's why I also think it's actually worth it, because a lot of stuff you can probably find online for free, but it's not very, how do you say, very well put together. Yeah, and I just share all my insights as an artist, as a label owner, but also as a marketeer. So I like this. It's good. I know I'm rambling on in between, but still. Yeah, the kick is nice, drums are good. Yeah, I really like the vibe of this track. It again does give me this Ibiza lounge background type of vibes, but yeah, it has its place. So in that sense, it's a successful track. Yeah. Yeah, it's not the most memorable melody, that's for sure. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing, but it is something that you can... it's something you can work on, or you can add other melodies and counters to spice it up a bit. It does feel a bit random. But like the everything else is very solid. So I feel like either try something else with the melodies, or, you know, get some impressions from artists that you like, or get someone else to write something for you. If you're struggling with leads or hooks or top melodies, it's not a shame to get someone else to jump in. But I do feel like it doesn't stand out as much. But the groove is good. Like, it's a very solid groove, for sure. I'm gonna have to skip through it a bit, Mason. Yeah, again, solid groove, kick is really nice. Nothing much to add there. I like the ambience. Like, it's a perfect background track. I do have to agree with Jonathan a little bit on the leads, is that they feel a bit random at times. And I think what you want is, you want to have a good balance between, when you're writing a melody, you want to have a balance between sort of experimental and predictable. So a lot of times, like, the best melodies, they are very predictable. But if you want but you might not always want to have a very predictable melody. So if you look at pop music and all that, like, a lot of these melodies, if you don't hear the full melody yet while it's playing, you can already sort of predict which notes they're gonna end with, right? The predictability, and having a sort of complex melody, but having it be predictable is exactly what people like. So you might think, oh, that's boring because it's predictable, but people like to like predict where a melody is going, and that gives them sort of, I don't know, it just increases the likability. It's weird how that works. And with these melodies, they're so all over the place. There's no way anyone's going to predict that. So at least it's original and experimental and creative. But you don't get that benefit of people wanting to be right or wanting to predict a melody. So yeah, I think writing more predictable melodies and hooks with some sort of experimental at the end and be like, oh, like catches you a little bit off guard. I think those are the best ones. And right now it's just like very experimental and all over the place. So yeah, you might want to tone that down a little. Yeah, like it's also not a bad idea to like sometimes just like steal some stuff of other people, you know, like replay certain melodies from tracks that you like, then maybe like pitch them down or up a bit, and then work around some of the notes, like change the notes a little. Most people won't even recognize, but then at least you know it's based off of something that works. You can give it your own twist. Yeah, and then if it works in your track and it's not too recognizable, you got a success, right? You got a winner. So I think, yeah, if that's your issue, like if you're struggling with that, I think that's a nice idea you can try out. But overall, it's a good track. I like it. It just needs a little bit of work and maybe like a better hook. Dummy Splash, and then we have 4 more. Man, look, Dummy Splash, I know your track's gonna be probably really nice anyway, so I'm just gonna let it play through for a bit while I'm grabbing a drink. I don't even know if he's still in the chat. I'm just gonna let this one play and then let you know afterwards what I think about it. Alright, Kopo, see you around next time. Yeah, we don't really have much time anymore, guys, because I have to go soon. So I am gonna play the last couple tracks, but I'm not gonna give as much feedback. I probably don't have to give feedback on Modera anyway. Just my thoughts. So that's a playthrough, and this one I'm also just gonna play through and then grab a drink. Next time I'll give you more detailed feedback, I guess. Let the feedback run in the chat, boys. Share what you think. tune. I do eventually want to have Tommy Splash on the label, because especially that's what interests me most about his style and music is this sort of world, yeah, how do you call it, world music? I don't know, man. It's not Oriental, but like Middle Eastern, just like a different culture, you know? I'm so used to getting like the same, or hearing the same melodic house, progressive house sound, worldly, yeah, ethnic, whatever you want to call it, new age, punk rock, I don't know. But it's different, and that's what I really like. So I mean, I don't really do this too often, but again, like my favorite track, my personal favorite track is Sierra that I've ever produced, and that was inspired by like African instruments. I've used African instruments to make that song, and that's what I really like. Also, one of my favorite artists at the moment is Monkey Safari. The sound that they have, it just sounds so organic and like rhythmic, and even if like gotta fly, the one guy from Monkey Safari, if you look at him, it sort of feels like he's been traveling through Africa for like half his life, the way he dresses. It's quite funny to see. But yeah, just this sound just really speaks to me. So I do hope that at some point you're gonna make some music for SEKORA. It doesn't have to be like high tempo, but yeah, I'd love to at some point sign some tracks, or maybe do a remix or something. That'd be cool. Yeah, well, what else I'm gonna say? I like it. Yeah. Like I said, I was just gonna do a playthrough because we have others, and I don't have enough time to give like feedback on everything. So
Clock's been ticking for a while.
here's Madeira.
It was a good run in, no more war now. The universe she takes away, but only when there's space to change. It's okay to flip the page and write again. You gotta let it out to let it in. We were young and holding hands, moving blindly, while the stars above were realigning.
It's really good.
Moving on is moving on despite the timing. Maybe there's more to love than just surviving.
It's like this series.
Make it known that I loved you around.
The one with Lennon, Stella.
Won't change a thing, we were just going out.
I forgot the name. Yeah, it is kind of country.
Curtains close and I'm looking down.
Feels like it. What's that series called again? I forgot. I need to know.
And it's okay to flip the page and write again. You gotta let it out to let it in. We were young and holding hands, moving blindly.
What's that series called?
While the stars above were realigning. Moving on is moving on.
Kind of sounds like her too.
Maybe there's more to love.
Nashville. That's what I was thinking about. Yeah. Have you guys seen this series, Nashville?
You and me, I wouldn't trade a second for the world. I hope that we both get to see each other reach the finer things. It's cliche, but the truth is we were young and holding hands, moving blindly, while the stars above were realigning. Moving on is moving on despite the timing. Maybe there's more to love than just surviving. I know there's more to love than just surviving.
Yeah, this is really good. I like it a lot. But I'm just curious, like, what are you guys gonna do with it? Because honestly, you can't release this as Modera, I think. So is this like a ghost production thing that you're working on, or are you eventually gonna take this and then make it into an electronic song? Because I think it is just great as it is. Probably needs some touching up here and there, but okay, yeah. How about did you produce a song for the vocalist then, or that? Because like, tell us a little bit about who sang it, and does she work with like, have you tried doing an electronic track with her? Yeah, it's a really good track. I do have to go to the next one though, if you want to finish these. Custody Music, is he or she in the chat? Because if not, then I'm just gonna skip it. You got 10 seconds to respond. If you don't, I'm gonna skip to Matt. Okay. So, yeah, Custody Music is not here, I guess. Okay, fair enough. Then we're gonna finish it up. The whip bin. Oh, you actually been playing it, so it is okay. Maybe I can connect you to a vocalist. She usually does country, but you never know. It's a really great song, Modera. But yeah, it's who of the Modera boys is in the chat right now? Because I always get you guys confused. I don't know who's like the most active one on the socials. Maybe I didn't catch it in the beginning. Okay, there we go. Evan, cool. Yeah, well, always Evan. All right, that's good to know. Yeah, well, I'd be interested in getting to know her. Like, I love this voice. There's this track that my friend Departure made, and it sort of made me think about her, this voice as well. So let me look it up. It's a Beautiful Dream remix that he did. I think I can play it here. This really, her voice sounded exactly like this. That kind of reminded me of this song. So if you can get like an electronic track with your singer, and it sounds Sounds a bit like Lennon Stella. That's amazing.
I wanna wake up, you holding me, darling. I wanna wake up, feeling free.
Okay, I'm not gonna play too much of the song. I hope I don't get copyright striked for this though. Ouch. Underwater. Okay, yeah, I'll check it out. I mean, after the stream, I probably have to lie down because I'm tired AF. Especially like it's been because I went boxing again tonight. It was like the first time in 2 years. I was just done. All right, so we're gonna close up the stream with Matt Phelan, who is who has one of the, I think, most special tracks on SEKORA. The first time I heard this track, I was like, damn, I want it. So I told Greg, get this dude on the label. I think that's literally what I told Greg when I heard this track, Mudancia. Because I think it got played by, what's his name again? Durante in like some mixtape or whatever, and then you never release it anywhere. Like a year later, we're like, I don't even know how Greg found you. Probably somewhere. We heard this track, and I was like, get this track, get this dude on the label now. I commanded him, I was like, Greg, go get me Matt on the label. Yeah, very happy we signed this. But this is actually, I really like playing this one out. So I'm glad that you're back, man. That you're making, I believe you're making music again, and got this tune as well. Because you're a very talented artist, so it would be a shame to not get any more new tunes from off of you. No, it happens. We all get those phases, but never forget, you know, once you're hooked into this music thing, this passion, you can never let go. And if you forget about music, it will haunt you. Yeah, I was about to say, like, it has all the elements to make it an amazing song. It already is. It sounds great. The only thing I would say is the arrangement. Might need a little rework. And I'll be fair, like, I'll be honest, like, right now, I don't know if I have the mental capacity to actually go into the details on what I would recommend for this song. I'm just enjoying it right now because it sounds great, and it is definitely something that I do want to work on with you, if you would consider it for the label. You could have, like you said, I think it needs a vocal. I think if your intuition says it needs a vocal, then it probably should, but I wouldn't overdo it. I wouldn't take it away from. Maybe have some sort of, you know, short ad-libs or some short phrases, and you might not even have to get a vocalist to do it. You can maybe use like some VSTs or soft synths, or, you know, some of these sampled vocal instruments to get something going on in the background, to give it a bit more of a human touch to it. But yeah, I think it already has all the elements that it needs. It just needs to be rearranged a little bit. And it's just, like you said, it's a work in progress. But I think, especially just looking at, like, these chords are very emotional. And I also like the title. It's a very deep title, actually, when you think about it. Because it never is about you. And I don't want to ramble on too much, but yeah, it really this one hits home, man. It makes sense, and it's also a perfect track to finish the stream with on a more emotional note, I'd say. Oh, ouch, yeah. Breakup track. Fuck. Breakups suck. But sometimes it's necessary. Well, most of the time, otherwise you wouldn't break up. Yeah, I kind of get it. That's what it. Yeah, that's really what it is sort of about, I guess. I'm just gonna let this track finish. Matt will chat later, or we'll chat more about this track. If you want to send it to Greg as well, get his thoughts, and then I can actually take it into the next demo meeting. We can chat about it a bit, and maybe I can like listen to it with fresh ears and give you like detailed feedback on what to change. Thanks, Evan. It was good to have you on the stream. Thanks for hanging out for so long as well. It was really a pleasure to listen to your new track, to your new song. It's more a song than a track, I'd say. But yeah, once this track of Matt here finishes, I'm also going to end the stream. So take it in one good last final time. We've been going for 2 hours and 17 minutes. But it's good to be back, and I do want to increase the amount of streams a lot more, and I also want to get more guests on the stream. So today I just wanted to be solo because personally I was like too busy with stuff, and that I couldn't even find a guest, or well, I could find a guest, but I didn't want to set everything up beforehand. But that's definitely something I'm still wanting to do, to get more guests on the stream to talk about their music and all the good things that you get when you have another person in there. Maybe throughout the week, I don't think I'm gonna do it now, but maybe throughout the week I'll also hop in the chat on the Discord. And again, as a final note, if you're gonna be at ADE this year, you want to attend the SEKORA event or the UOAK Invites event, just send me your email address on Discord, and I'll add you to the RSVP list. I mean, it's open entrance, but RSVP you get priority access, I guess, and maybe you can get like a little goodie or something like that. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you hopefully next week. Probably next week. I'll try to keep it up again. I'm happy to be back. Bye bye.